Hey everyone, welcome back to this fun little impromptu video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys our new Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. This is replacing the Big Shot. If you have a Big Shot, if you purchased one from me previously or just had one, this is basically our new version of the Big Shot. So as you can see, I just got this box in the mail literally just now. I haven't done anything. All I did was I opened the box and then there was a piece of cardboard on top to protect everything, and I took that off, and so I'm just going to do this right along with you guys. So right on top, these look like all of the cutting plates, as well as I'm assuming, oh yeah, the quick start guide right here. And we have this little guy here. Throw that off to the side, and then our machine in the box. There's this little baggie down here, so we'll grab that. And I think that's it. So let me find a place for this box to go. So like I said, I wanted to show you guys this taking it right out of the box, because I think that's a kind of an important thing to show and to show you guys how that kind of works and what it looks like, and how you can get this and pick it up out of the box and go right for it. So it comes in this nice protective bag. The thing that I think I love the most about this is, actually there are two things. One, I think it's really, really beautiful. It's very pretty and streamlined looking, but it's also nice and compact. I have my Big Shot over here on the floor just because I want to do some comparisons once I get it all put together. But one of the things that I've always thought was really not my favorite about the Big Shot is it's just kind of wonky, right? Like you have this and it's got platforms on the side. This is very nice and compact. It's really, really beautiful. You have this really pretty Stampin' Up logo here. I believe there's one on the other side. There is. So we'll get into the machine here in a second, but let's go ahead and start. So you have this little bag here, and then you have the quick start guide. Like I said, I believe this has all of our plates in it as well. So let's go to, so we have in the box using, okay, so attaching the handle. So that's the first thing that we should do. So you have this extra little bag inside the other bag where the handle is, so don't lose that because that's an important piece of this puzzle. Oh, here, and there's actually pictures to show you how to attach the handle. So if you flip it over to the side, you'll see this side where there's a hole, and you want to look because there's a flat edge to this little knob that's poking out, and there's a flat edge on your handle. So you want to line those up, and it kind of smushes in. And then you can take your goodies in your bag, and there is a screw and a washer. I don't know why I couldn't think of the name of that for a second. And you want to put those guys in there. And then it comes with a little wrenchy doodad for you to put it all together. I thought there was a little, yeah, there is another little, there's a cap piece. Oh, I threw it over here. So that's another thing to be aware of, is the little cap is in this bag. It's not in your little tiny bag with your tools. So you have this, make sure that's good and tight. I like that it comes with a little wrench so you don't have to go and find that yourself. That's really nice and thoughtful of them. And then you have this little cap that goes right on the top so you don't have to see that. And then you have your machine ready to go. So you get the machine right out of the box. Let's talk about what else you get right out of the box, and then we'll get into actually looking at the machine, I promise. So you get a plate, a few plates here. So you have, this one has number 4. Here, let's zoom in a smidge. So you have plate number 4. You have 2 of the 3 plates. So these are both number 3. Ooh, can you see me? Wait, where'd I go? Hi, hello. This is the number 2 plate, and then this is your base. This is a number 1. So you get all of this in right out of the box with just getting your machine, which is awesome. And I'm sure we'll learn more about these as we get into it. So I want to look at the machine itself now. So you basically have, oh here, let me zoom out. There we go. So you have this machine here, you have your handle on one side, and then if you take your hands on both sides and just push it down, now you have your cutting surface. So you can see it's very, very, very nice. It's got a beautiful design. There's actually the Stampin' Up! Logo on the inside also on both sides. Really, really pretty, really nice. Before we get into, I want to, like I said, look at some of the plates. I want to run a couple examples through. I want to do a little bit of a comparison between this and the Big Shot. So I'm going to grab my Big Shot really fast. I'm going to take the plates out of it just so we can compare side by side without plates because we don't have our plates for our Stampin' Up! One. And let's just kind of look. So by just looking at the width, and I thought I had my ruler somewhere around here. I do. So just looking at the width of the machine, and this is obviously just a guess, we're about 9.5 inches there, not including the handle, and you're about 8.5 inches with the Big Shot. So it is a little bit wider. So that's one thing to just note is it's the new cut and emboss machine is a little wider than the Big Shot, but it also looks like, where'd my ruler go again? So this is about 6.5 inches for your cutting surface, and you're about 6 inches. For the Big Shot. So the Stampin' Up! Cut and Emboss machine is a little bit bigger, but it's really not that much bigger. We also have a mini one coming out, so if you are really looking for space saving or you kind of have that in mind, this may not be the best option for you, but the mini that we have coming out shortly may be the right option for you. I say shortly, I actually don't know when it's going to be released, so I should not say shortly. But overall, I think it's a much nicer and sleeker looking machine. And like I said, I love that you can fold the sides in so it's not super wonky. It makes it really nice to travel with, to store. It's much easier to store than this Big Shot. So the only other test that I wanted to do, and I don't have a scale right now to use. I do have a scale. I just don't have it close to me and you have to plug it in, and I don't have a plug over here. So I want to just kind of do a very basic weight comparison, and I'm just going to pick them up and see. I mean, honestly, they feel kind of the same weight to me. I can't really tell much of a difference. So I think as far as the weight goes, they're very, very similar. Again, the Stampin' Up! Machine you can fold up and it goes pretty compact. Obviously at this point it's much smaller than the Big Shot because the Big Shot doesn't do that. Big Shot has basically the same type of handle. I will say that the handle on the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine is a little bit bigger than the handle on the Big Shot. So I do like that, especially if you're somebody that has arthritis or has a hard time really gripping onto things. I do think it's nice that the handle is a bit bigger. Just kind of those little things. I will say I've had my Big Shot for a very long time. It's probably, I don't know, like 5 years probably. But if you listen to it, it's kind of, it makes lots of noise, I guess is the right way to say it. If I shake this guy, you don't really get many noises. So again, I've had my Big Shot. I've beat this thing up. I've loved it and used it quite a bit. So you can't really compare apples to apples there, but just something that I figured I'd note because this it sounds very sound and put together well. So I'm going to take my Big Shot out of the way now. The other thing that I wanted to look at is just doing a bit of a plate comparison because I know that's been a question a lot of people have had as far as how the plates compare to each other and if they're comparable or not. So with the Big Shot, so these are the Big Shot plates, and this is the Cut and Emboss plate. So I'm going to take this gray plate out because this is a specialty plate. This is an adapter plate, and I feel like it's not within the same realm. I'd like to compare apples to apples as much as possible. So for the new Cut and Emboss machine, you have a base plate here, and then you have all these other plates that kind of go on top of it. I have the old Big Shot plate, so this is what I'm going to use to compare. I know they've changed slightly. I think they actually have the same design where you have one plate and you put them on top of each other, but this is what I have to compare, so that's what I'm using. So this one you have a few different plates that kind of hinge on your main base plate. And then you have your two cutting plates, just like you have your two cutting plates here. So really what I wanted to do is do a size comparison. So let's take those off. And I'm going to flip this just to the main plate. They're pretty much the same size, really. If I run my finger along the edge, I can feel that the Stampin' Up! Cut and Emboss is a little bit taller. And you can kind of see, you're not going to be able to tell. The difference is so minimal. There's maybe an 1/8 of an inch difference between the the length of them. For the most part, though, they're very, very comparable as far as the main base plates go. And then, sorry, I'm making a mess of my desk. I probably should have cleaned my desk before I did this video, but I didn't, so here we are. And then if you look at the cutting plates, they're basically exactly the same. I don't see any differences as far as size goes. They have the same little lip on them. I don't see any differences between the new plates and the old plates. So there's that. The one thing that I will mention, let me grab my quick start guide again. So when we're talking about plates, and I mainly point this out because I'm saying like, hey, the plates are very, very similar, or they're the same, right? If you get the machine and you look in your quick start guide, there is a 3-year limited warranty, which I don't know how many other machines come with that. Doing a little bit of research, I haven't found a ton of machines that come with a limited warranty, so I think that's an amazing perk just right off the bat. But one of the conditions are that you don't use anything that is not intended to be used in the machine. So I don't know how exactly that works as far as plates go. If you were to use another plate, I feel like it would probably void your warranty or put you at risk of voiding your warranty in the event something ever went wrong with the machine. So I think that's just something to consider when you possibly start pulling in other types of items. So let's stop rambling and let's play around with the new machine. So I'm going to bring in all of my plates again, and I'm going to do a little bit of embossing and a little bit of cutting just to kind of see how the machine works, how it functions, and all of that stuff. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention is it has these really nice big kind of sticky grip feet on the bottom of it. That's one thing that I've always, I don't want to say hate, but it's one of the things that I've always found hard with my Big Shot is that I don't feel like the feet on it really help it stick to my table. Like, I am shaking this really hard right now, and you can see it's rocking back and forth, but if I move it left to right, it's not moving. It's really stuck in place, and I think that's going to help get a nice, smooth kind of crank through the machine, or that's my hope at least. So let's start with the thing that I use my machine for the most, and that is die cutting. Sorry, I gotta move some stuff around here. So I'm gonna be using, these are the Home Together dies. This is from the new holiday catalog. I haven't really played around with these much, but I thought they were super cute, so I wanted to just in this demo. So I'm just gonna grab these two little houses. One has a heart and one has a star. Super adorable. And then the other thing that I really, really like about this plate is, or with this machine and system, is all of the plates are numbered, and then on the main plate, it shows you the numbers depending on what you want to do. So we're going to just do some regular die cutting. So we're going to put down our number 1 plate. Then we're going to put down our number 2 plate. Then we're going to make a sandwich. We're going to have a number 3 plate. And our paper and our dies. Okay, and then our number 3 plate on top. And we're just gonna crank it through. Oh my goodness. Can I tell you, that goes through so easily. I don't know if it's just me. I don't want to say I've had issues with my Big Shot, but I feel like you really have to crank that thing through. And I'm not exaggerating, I'm not just saying this. That thing went through like butter. That was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I cannot believe how smoothly that went through and how these cut perfectly. I have no issues with them. They popped right out and super stinking cute. So as far as die cutting, I would say this is an absolute winner. 10 out of 10. Fantastic. Before I lose these dies, let me put them back over there. So let's try out some embossing. So we're not gonna need our number 2 plate because that's only for die cutting. So I'm gonna set that off to the side, and let's look for embossing. So you have 2 different options for embossing here. And again, I love that it's right on this plate, so you don't have to go look up directions. You don't have to flip through tabs. And the Big Shot plate that I have, I felt like it was just very confusing and hard to understand what I needed to do with it. I've always felt that way. That's just me maybe, but I've always felt like it's very confusing. And so I really like this number system. So let's do a standard embossing folder. So for a standard embossing folder, we're going to put our number 1 base plate down. And then we're going to make our sandwich with our 3 plates. Super easy. So for this, I am going to be using, what is this one? This is the Winter Snow die embossing folder, and this is just a piece of balmy blue cardstock. This is an embossing folder from the new catalog, so if you haven't checked it out, I would highly recommend checking it out. Just going to put that in. Again, I'm going to have my number 1 plate, and then I'm going to sandwich my number 3 plates. Crank that through again. And what I'm saying, it's so easy. I'm not like, honestly, I feel like I'm not having to put a ton of pressure to get it to come through, which I really, really, really like. I really like that. And beautifully embossed image there. So pretty. You get all of that texture, and it's so nicely embossed. I love it. Really, really nice. So that's a normal embossing folder. And then I have a 3D embossing folder, which is this section on your plate right here. So when you're using a 3D embossing folder, that's where we're going to bring in this specialty plate. So this is the gray plate. This is the number 4 plate. And for this, we're going to do the base plate. So our number 1, we're going to put our embossing folder in and then put the number 4 plate on top. So super easy. Once I crank this through, so I've had some people ask how you tell the difference between a 3D embossing folder and a normal embossing folder once you have, I am doing this right? Yes, okay. So once you throw away the packaging, how do you know the difference between the 2? Like, how do you know which one is a 3D one and which one's a normal embossing folder? And I will tell you, it is actually really, really easy. Once you know, super easy to tell. So again, this is a new embossing folder. This is the Cobweb 3D embossing folder. I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to see that on the black cardstock, but it stamped, oh my gosh, it embossed beautifully. It's so, so, so pretty. So pretty, and you get all of that nice texture. It just works flawlessly. So to answer the question really fast about how you tell the difference between our 2 embossing folders. So one, obviously on the packaging, it'll say 3D or not. You could always go and look in the catalog and look up the embossing folder that you have and see, as long as you have the catalog and it's current, not even if it's current, but if you have the catalog that it was in, right? If you don't, you can tell just by holding them in your hands. So first and foremost, and I don't know how, I'm going to try to pick this up as best as I can on camera. Let's try to move this out of the way. And I'll zoom in a bit and see. Can I zoom in a little bit more? Let's see. There. So if I hold these side by side, you can kind of tell that the top one is a little bit thinner than the bottom one. You can kind of tell. On top of that, if you hold them in your hands and you just, so if you open it up is really the easiest way to tell, and you just give it a little bit of a bend, the regular non-3D embossing folders have a lot of flex to them. I mean, you can see here, I'm flexing it quite a bit, right? You can see that. If you do that with our 3D folder, it flexes, but it doesn't flex very much. I mean, it has a little bit of give, but I'm talking like this one, I could take it and I can bend it pretty far back, right? This one, that's about as much as I can bend it. So that's the easiest way to tell. Honestly, if you have a regular and a 3D in your hands, you can tell the difference. The plastic is just thicker, so you can absolutely tell the difference if you have 2 in your hands to compare. But that little trick to kind of see if it has a little bit of flex is also really nice to do in case you don't have to compare side by side. So overall, my thoughts on the new machine. I think it's a great machine. I think, like I was saying, what I just did, those couple of things that I rolled through here, they went through like butter. So easy to use. So beautiful. I love it. This machine is going to be available to all customers starting in September. If you are like me and you cannot wait to get this little baby in your hands, it is available to demonstrators right now as a pre-order. So I ordered mine on Tuesday? On the 4th, August 4th, and today is Friday, which is August 7th, and so I got it in just a couple of days. So right now is a really great time and a really great opportunity to join my Stampin' Up! Team, because then you can get this machine ordered and in your little hands before anybody else has it. So if you want more information on that, let me know. I would be happy to share some details on how you can sign up on my team and get in on all of the fun early. So I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. If you have any questions on this machine, I would be happy to answer any questions and do some try to get some things done. What am I trying to say? I don't even know. Try to get some samples rolled through and play around and answer any questions that I can. So if you have any, of course, let me know. As always, you can purchase a bunch of things. You can't purchase this right now unless you're a demonstrator, but all of the embossing folders that I showed, the dies that I showed, you can purchase all of that 24/7 just by going to littlemooncreation.stampinup.net. Again, if you're interested in joining my team or just want some more information on anything in general, you can always go to littlemooncreation.com, and that's my website where I have a bunch of information there for you guys. So I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!